Jace is gonna have to like it and associate and be civil. Because David's here forever, so Jace has to get used to it.
How are you guys doing? How are you and David? Better?
Yeah, we're better. Yeah,
Okay.
we're fine. Yeah, we're just both in a bad mood.
You're in a bad mood.
Oh, dude, come here. You gotta see that jellyfish. Look.
Oh my god.
Look how happy they are. They're all swimming around.
Isn't it awesome?
Oh, I'm glad you guys are getting along now, because I know you were fighting yesterday.
Where's your fighting?
You weren't fighting yesterday? I thought you were fighting.
Do you need your bottle?
Yeah, here. No, I thought you guys were in a fight yesterday.
Nah.
Okay, so what
Were you
happened?
fighting yesterday? Nope, you're lying.
Are you serious? Or are you joking right now?
Yeah, thanks.
After months of total silence, there's finally movement in the case that had everyone holding their breath. Remember back in 2023 when David Eason was accused of putting his hands around Jace's neck? Yeah, it's been nearly 2 years since that bombshell dropped, and until now, it felt like the case had completely stalled. Sure, he was officially charged, but no real updates ever followed until now. Thanks to a fresh report from the Ashley's Reality Roundup, major credit to them for digging this up, we've got confirmation that David's case is officially heading to trial. The charges? Felony assault by strangulation and a misdemeanor count of child abuse. This comes after a behind-closed-doors court conference earlier this week between his public defender and North Carolina prosecutors. David himself didn't attend, but the judge still signed off on several key decisions that make it clear this isn't going to quietly disappear. It's going to court. It's good to finally see something happening, but it's hard not to be frustrated by how long it's taken to get here. For anyone who's lost track of the details, let me jog your memory. The court filings allege that David intentionally injured Jace, leaving noticeable bruises on the boy's neck and arm, injuries the documents say weren't accidental. This all came to light after Jace ran away, which prompted a deeper investigation into what was going on behind the scenes.
Disturbing updates coming out about what David Eason did to Jace. This is information that led to the charge that David now has against him. See my previous videos. Marks were left on Jace's right arm and the left and right side of his neck from non-accidental injuries. So that would mean they were intentional, just to clear that up. It is marked in the documents that this happened on September 28th. If you will remember, September 28th marked the date that Jace ran away for the third time in 1 month. That night, he went out of his window and into the woods. Then he wound up in the hospital, and now he's back with Barb. Speaking of Barb, she and Janelle were back in court yesterday. David was not allowed to be there, as he is not allowed any contact or communication with Jace whatsoever. Janelle is only allowed it reportedly if Jace initiates it. But Barb and Janelle were in court yesterday. They are allowing Jace to continue staying with Barb. As far as I understand, reportedly, allegedly, Jace is still under CPS custody, but Barb is his caretaker and will be, that will continue as of court yesterday. I'll keep you posted. David has not been arrested. And just so y'all know, some people are miswording it. Some people are saying there's a warrant out for his arrest. I have not reported that because I don't feel that the reports that have said that are that accurate. So all I have said and will continue to say is that there is a charge, and I'll keep you updated.
As part of the ongoing criminal proceedings, the judge is also reviewing confidential DSS documents related to Jace's welfare. Some of these records have now been cleared for use by David's legal team, but only for the trial. He won't be allowed to weaponize that information in his divorce from Janelle, no matter how badly he might want to. Those sealed records could include Jace's school files, medical history, or other sensitive materials. And if David even tries to twist that information for his own gain outside of this case, there could be serious consequences. Oh, and who could forget his original defense? David tried to claim he shouldn't be held accountable under U.S. law because he identifies as a sovereign citizen. I mean, that's one way to shoot your shot in court, but maybe not the winning strategy he thought it'd be.
There's a search warrant issued against David Eason, and we've got to get into this. So recently, The Sun exclusively shared that a document that was filed against David Eason in June of 2024 stated that the sheriff's office would be seizing property. The sheriff's office requested that the court issue a warrant to search the person, place, vehicle, and other items described in this application, and to find and seize the property and person described in this application. The Sun revealed that the warrant continued that the sheriff's office had reason to believe they would find evidence of the commission of a criminal offense or contraband against David Eason. The warrant then alleged it was looking for evidence against David of first-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and second-degree exploitation of a minor. The clerk explained to The Sun that despite the warrant, no charges were filed against the father of three. Now, The Sun doesn't really share more anything about the charges after that. However, I do have a source close to the situation who explains a little bit more that people would want to know, so I'm going to share that with you guys. The source stated, videos were obtained from David's old cell phones. The videos were reviewed and very disturbing. The case will forever remain open until he does a crime of similar nature. He hasn't been charged because touching wasn't involved. Now, as always, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments.
David's original attempt to dodge accountability was almost laughable, literally. He tried to argue in court that he couldn't be prosecuted because he identifies as a sovereign citizen. The judge didn't even entertain that nonsense, basically telling him that if he wanted to walk out a free man, he'd need to come up with a defense grounded in actual law, not internet conspiracy theory material. With that plan dead in the water, David has since chosen to stick with a public defender to handle the case as it moves toward trial. At the recent court hearing reported by the Ashley's Reality Roundup, some troubling new claims came to light. David admitted that in the past, he had to physically restrain Jace. His words, to prevent the boy from allegedly harming himself or someone else. He also claimed that Jace had been carrying weapons, struggled with mental health issues, made threats, and ran away often. As part of his defense, David also confirmed that the Department of Social Services did launch an investigation after the alleged incident, but says the case was eventually closed. Janelle, on the other hand, insists no such DSS case ever existed. Everything about this situation is messy, but at least for once, the case isn't getting brushed under the rug. That had been a big concern, especially considering that when the allegations first came to light, Janelle was actually backing David. At the time, she was uploading videos online painting him as the perfect partner and framing Jace as some kind of danger to her household. She claimed David was just doing what any loyal husband would do, protecting his home from a troubled child. Thankfully, despite all that noise, this case is finally being taken seriously. But let's be real, Janelle doesn't come out of this clean either. She should absolutely be looked into for the role she played, not just in allegedly enabling David, but for publicly smearing her own child, who was clearly in crisis. No matter how you slice it, the victim here was Jace, and the fact that it took this long for any accountability to even begin is disturbing.
Y'all, this is a breaking story about David Eason. The misdemeanor charge against him has been upgraded to a felony. A felony after claims that he beat Jace. It was an attack back in September on 14-year-old Jace that got the original misdemeanor child abuse charge. But when David was in court on January 10th, just 2 days ago, they found enough evidence to take this case out of district court where misdemeanors are held and bring it up to superior. District court hears misdemeanors, traffic, and other infractions where felony cases are heard in superior court. The district attorney's office confirmed there was a grand jury on January 10th, but said it was too soon for the case information online to be updated. I know earlier this week and even today, yesterday, there were some worries that they were dropping the charge altogether because when you look in the system, it wasn't showing anything for David. Now we know why. It's not being dropped. It's being upgraded. I know CPS has been investigating and talking to all of the children, so I have to wonder, what have the kids said? What have they learned that made them upgrade this to a felony? We'll find out as it moves through the court system. Let me know your thoughts. These poor children. How is Kaiser doing? How is Inslee?
I worry less about Inslee. I worry so much about Kaiser. Let me know your thoughts.
As this case moves forward, it's hard not to feel frustrated by how long it took to get here. Between David's bizarre legal strategies and Janelle's public attempts to rewrite the narrative, it's clear this situation has been dragged out at the expense of Jace's well-being. What matters now is that there's finally movement, and the truth, whatever it fully looks like, has a chance to come out in court. The fact that it even made it to trial is a small victory in itself, especially given the way some people tried to bury it under distractions and denial. If you've been following this case, make sure you stick around for future updates. We'll be keeping an eye on everything. In the meantime, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and watch to the end so you don't miss any of the details we dig up next.